Hello, my name is Mike, and today we're building an Antumbra Mult from a kit. It took me about 1 hour and 15 minutes to complete this build. As always, this video is not sponsored. I bought this kit with my own money, and the background music to this video was made featuring the Antumbra Mult. This was a bit of an impulse buy. I was ordering a PCB and panel combo for a future project from a site overseas, and I wanted to add a small, relatively inexpensive kit to help justify the cost of shipping. This kit can be built as a passive mult or a buffered mult. It's up to you. I want to make this a buffered mult, and I'll be using the instructions on the Antumbra website to guide me through that. Let's go ahead and open this up. The kit comes with SMD LEDs, minijacks with their nuts, a 10-pin power header, a 2-pin header, and a jumper, so not that much in all. Here are the instructions online. Here is the PCB. There are already SMD components soldered onto the board, but there also appears to be spaces for more SMD components to be added. I'm following the instructions and seeing a lot of the early steps are to solder electronic components that are already on this board. I'm just following along to confirm everything is there. All the fun stuff is already done. The first thing I get to do is the power pin header. On this mult, each group of 4 has 1 input and 3 outputs. One of the options is to link the 4 sets of mults so that you can have a signal multed up to 12 times. You do that by bridging the solder jumpers. The instructions don't really explain how to do this. Maybe you can just kind of drag solder between the 2 pads to link them. But just to be safe, I have some discarded resistor legs that I'm using to bridge the pads. I'm trying to figure out the best way to do this with only 2 hands. The segments of resistor legs I'm using are very small, and it's quite finicky trying to manage them. Here, I'm testing the continuity of the bridged pads just to make sure there's a connection, and there is. Next, we're doing the LEDs. Each spot for an LED has a line on one side. The line on the front of the LED needs to be on the same side as the line on the PCB. However, on the back of each LED is a sideways T. That's what's facing you as you solder these in place, and the line on that T is in the opposite direction of the line on the front. It's kind of counterintuitive at first, but you want the line on the T on the opposite side away from the line on the PCB. These pictures in the instructions confirm this if you look closely. The LEDs are optional, and I didn't really imagine what they would look like if I added them. I pretty much did them just because they were there and they were included with the kit. You'll see at the end of the video that you end up with light coming out of the holes of all the mini jacks. It's kind of neat, but I'm not sure I would have picked them to all be orange. I can almost imagine doing this where every set of 4 jacks are a different color. I'm imagining blues, purples, greens, cooler colors like that, not necessarily orange. It's very easy to drop these LEDs into the hole. Looks like I got 2 bonus LEDs. Next, we're doing the 2-pin header. I accidentally bridged the 2 pins, but it's resolved easily enough. There's some kind of flux booger on here, but some heat from the soldering iron makes it melt away. Now there are 4 more solder jumpers I have to bridge. I believe these and the 2-pin jumper are only needed if you add the LEDs. Next, we're adding the jacks, but we're not soldering them yet. Now we add the faceplate and gently screw the nuts into place. I accidentally scratched the panel with my pliers. It could be worse. Here I am soldering the minijacks. And now we test the continuity between power pins before testing the module. And finally I add the jumper to the 2-pin header. Alright, so testing this out and already ran into a problem here. You got the jumper, and when we try to put this power cable on, jumper is restricting it. So let's see if I turn it around. Does that help? Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm pulling the jumper off. You can see how close that is. It's gonna be an issue every time I hook it up. Trying to get the jumper on. It's just not working out. Gonna have to there we go. Okay, just had to bend it a little. And oop, the jumper's not all the way in. There we go. Power's all the way in. Let's go ahead and power this up. Ooh, lights. Well, that's pretty. Bit extreme. Let's go ahead and hook this up. Yay. So it's working. Just got to be careful regarding this jumper and the power pins. It's easy to do this outside of a case, but once I mount this in a case, it's going to get complicated. So one step at a time. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it or found it useful, please consider liking and subscribing. Have a great day.